Hey, what's going on, everybody? BDF44 here with another video. Going to update you on day two of free agency thus far. Um, not big names as of yet. Nothing major has dropped with DeRozan or Schroeder, but we do have a couple smaller names that I think may be pretty informative for you if you're a fan. Robin Lopez for Orlando. Yeah, I think he's going to be going there for $5 million. Not sure how many years there, but they got Robin Lopez, boosted their center position a bit. Um, I still believe that Bamba is the guy for them at the center position, but apparently they continue to bring people in that may or may not start in front of them. Um, that's that. That's really that. Let's see. Rodney Hood is going to be heading to the champs, the Bucks. He's going to be on a 1 year deal there. Not sure how much. James Johnson, um, Patty Mills, and Bruce Brown all are headed to the Brooklyn Nets. Patty Mills going to the Nets is pretty disappointing, I guess, for Laker fans. We were hopeful that he would choose us, but he's going to go to Brooklyn and continue wearing black, as he's played for the Spurs his entire career. So he's just going to go to the other team that wears black in the league and try to win himself a championship. So they got a lot better, in my opinion, with everything that they've done, including how they drafted. Uh, the Nets have done some sneaky good things for themselves. They also picked up Blake Griffin. They did lose Jeff Green, but I think James Johnson will help a lot. That's a dog right there, and a role player who's hungry. I don't believe he was on that Toronto team that won the championship. He might have been, but I'm pretty sure he wants to win nevertheless. So that's what they got going on with the Nets. And Bruce Brown, that was surprising to me. I mean, I'm not surprised that they only paid him what they did because they couldn't afford to pay him nothing else. But I'm actually surprised that he didn't go get a bag. I thought he showed enough to where he could go somewhere and have a real good suitor and a nice payday. I thought he could make some money this year. I mean, I'm not saying he would have made a whole lot, but he'd have definitely made more than what he was given here. So he sacrificed quite a bit to stay with the Nets. And I understand why he would be happy there. They look like they got a chance to win a championship or maybe even more. And given the fact that he did break out within that system on that team, and they do have a system where guys are probably going to be in and out of the lineup by nature, I think he's pretty optimistic that he's going to have another opportunity like he had last year to maybe even play his value up even further upon winning a championship. So I understand the investment, but I just think he could have gone somewhere else and got a bigger role. Probably could have maybe played his value up even higher, but winning a championship will get it done. I'm just hopeful that the Lakers can keep him from doing it. So the Pelicans picked up a guy named Lozada. I am not familiar at all. Didn't look him up. Sorry, I just didn't do my due diligence, but he's there. Rafael Nader's returning back to the Suns on a 2 year deal, and Taj Gibson is going to be headed back to the Knicks for 2.7 for a 1 year deal. So that's what I have here. Like I said, there wasn't no major news. I just wanted to keep you guys updated on everything that I see. And I thought that Bruce Brown signing was kind of surprising. He really left a lot of money on the table, in my opinion. I don't know what the market was for him, but I sensed that the market was pretty solid. So that's that, man. Carmelo Anthony has yet to make a decision. I'm waiting on that. And Dennis Schroeder, same thing. We don't know what's going on there. Trying to find him a suitor, I guess. Buddy Hield's waiting on the sidelines. DeMar DeRozan waiting on the sidelines. Everybody's trying to figure it out. There's still some other notable names out there. I think I have the list right here. Try to figure out what names may be worth talking about. I've not been taken off the list. Isaiah Hartenstein is a guy that I think should be signed soon. I think the league is sleeping, and I think it's a mistake. And whoever lands him, if they give him an opportunity, they will understand why this was just not the way his free agency should go right now. Brad Wanamaker is a guy I'm looking at. He's probably going to be signed at some point, probably to a 1 year deal or something like that, but he's going to find a team. Kendrick Nunn. Pay attention to Kendrick Nunn. He really does have the type of talent to where if he finds himself in the right place, he can do some damage. He can help a team a lot. Amadou Diallo, same thing. THT, obviously paying attention to THT. The Lakers have already said they're going to match any and all offers that are given to THT. but that is within reason. That means within reason. Because obviously we can't afford to give him every damn thing. So we'll see what the market is for him, because I think there are a lot of teams who like him a lot, but I just think that most teams are kind of just taking their time on him. So he's probably going to end up signing an offer sheet somewhere. I do not see the Lakers letting him go. So as long as that contract isn't something that we can't match, I expect us to. Let's see. Brent Forbes is another guy I expect to be signed very soon. I don't expect to see him on the board for much longer. Likely back to Milwaukee if he hasn't already. He might have already went back. Justice Winslow is a name I'm paying attention to. I don't think he's out the league. I don't think that. And if the Lakers are wise, he's a name they consider just to pick up on the fly. You need somebody like that. And so on and so forth. He'll probably demand a little more money than we want to give him, but I don't care. Davis is another guy I like from Toronto. He probably should go back to Toronto. He's a highly productive player. They have probably a different type of role for him now that some guys are being shipped out. I would go back there. Let's see. Yeah, so that's what's up. That's what's up, man. As far as I can tell, Dennis Smith Jr. is another name to pay attention to. I don't know what the market is for a guy like that. Brandon Goodwin, another guy I can see probably going somewhere else, because the Atlanta Hawks have a different dynamic to their team now that they've picked up this player in the back of the draft that they did. This hyper effective passer. He's going to need a regular rotation. He's going to need regular rotation minutes, you know. I expect him to be their main point guard off the bench at this point. So, from what I've seen, there is no way in hell that dude should have been drafted that late. This is a performer, a showman. Like, this is somebody who's going to put people in seats. He's going to make you want to go see him when he fully develops. That's how dynamic and flashy of a passer and as of a performer that I saw in those highlights. This ain't just some guy that the Atlanta Hawks picked up. They picked up like somebody who has genius passing ability and the desire to entertain a crowd. So they're gonna have to find something to do for him. They're gonna need to. His talent's gonna demand it. So I could totally see a guy like Brandon Goodwin possibly leaving Atlanta because of it. I'm telling you, I wish I had this player's name in mind. I don't. But golly, man, I saw them highlights. I'm like, you serious? I might make a whole video on that dude, by the way. Let's see. Frank Ntilikina is somebody that I think probably not out of the league. I don't think he's out of the league. He has too much upside. There are teams that could use a defensive point guard. If you're a bad defensive team, take a flyer on a Frank Ntilikina. Like, if you just suck defensively, what do you have to lose bringing up a guy that plays defense only? Because really, he doesn't do a whole lot else. But it's not like he's deficient. He's just not overly talented in other areas. But defensively, he locks people up if he's if he's ready to go. So, yeah, I think Frank Ntilikina should have a spot in this league. But if he doesn't, I think he may go overseas and then find his way back here at some point. He's still very young. And I think that about Dennis Smith Jr. and several other guys. Sometimes they just have to go overseas and dabble in the mud and go learn hard. And they come back better pros. So some of those guys may want to think about doing something like that. It works. Look at like a LaMelo Ball. It works, you know. Sometimes it's just best to kind of put yourself through the trenches. Let's see, man. And Jared Vanderbilt, there's another guy I expect to be signed at some point. Maybe going back to Minnesota. Maybe not. There are some teams like Miami who should be taking a look at Jared Vanderbilt. He's the exact type of player they need. For real. But see, that's the thing. It's like when you're thinking a certain way, like Miami's thinking about, we need to build a championship. We want a certain type of player. But they're not thinking about their fit necessarily, in my opinion. They're just bringing a lot of guys together who do certain things like defense. We got shooters. Okay, but like positionally, you're still going to get power forward. I will argue that the Phoenix Suns did not beat the Bucks because they didn't have a talented power forward. PJ Tucker was effective defensively, but that was not enough. They needed somebody down there who could help on the boards, who could help with the scoring, who could create a different dynamic, take some pressure off of Ayton. They didn't have it. You are doing the same thing to Bam this year when you remove a guy like Precious Achiuwa away from that lineup. When you remove a guy like that, that's exactly what's happening. You bring in a guy like PJ Tucker. I like him. Just won a championship. We know he's a good dude to have. not starting at the power forward. Not all season long. Maybe in playoff series when you have a specialty matchup, hell yeah. Not when you have to go up against different power forwards every single night, and some of them are very, very talented. No. You're putting a lot of pressure on Bam Adebayo to stay healthy and to guard these guys. And while he is an elite defender, putting that much pressure on anybody just eventually puts him in a position to get injured. You missed out on Drummond. You need to find somebody like Hartenstein or Vanderbilt. Both of those guys should be on Miami's list of people to talk to today. Both of them. Because you need a power forward. Same thing with Phoenix. Both of those guys should be on your list to talk to. Teams that don't have a power forward, you need to be talking to those two players particularly. Yeah, that's my thoughts. Yeah, man, that's the list that I see. Josh Hart is another name I'm paying attention to. Talented defensive guy. He's not a shooter, but he can hit a shot here and there. Sometimes he clanks it bad. Sometimes he can hit them. So I've seen good Josh Hart. I've seen bad Josh Hart. But one thing I know about Josh Hart, hard worker, hard body. Hard body. He is a very tough dude. He's made out of steel. So he's not overly athletic, but what I'm saying to you is he keeps himself in tremendous shape. He reminds me of Derek Fisher in that way. He's just a guy that's going to be solid and he's going to stay in the gym working hard. And while he's out there, he's going to be aggressive. Pretty good from the free throw line. Like I said, the three-point shot is hit or miss, man. And when I say hit or miss, he's either knocking it down or he's clanking it off the side. But he's definitely somebody that's reliable in situations where you want a winner. Unfortunately for the Lakers, we didn't have that type of role for him. We just had him on a really young team. But I remember he was a guy that was coming out of college that was a stable force on a winning basketball team. So he's the type of guy who's supposed to, in theory, help a veteran basketball club win. That's what he was drafted to be. We just happened to get him. But I remember that. I haven't forgotten Josh Hart. I know what he can do. So that's basically the sum of everything I wanted to say here. Just kind of update you guys. Malik Monk. Malik Monk is another name. Ooh, a shooter, right? Even though I made a video about how shooters can't really do a whole lot. If they haven't proven themselves, it's kind of hard for them to get on teams. But if they have proven themselves, they can make a whole lot of money. Well, that's Malik Monk. He needs to go somewhere on a one-year deal for whatever he can get. Show that he can do that skill in a very, very high level. And then he'll be a guy who can come up and get the money that he's seeing other shooters get. So I believe in Malik Monk in that way. He has to have his, he has to mature in whatever he needs to do to make sure that he's ready to go. But naturally, he should be able to turn himself into a player that makes some money out here. So I'm paying attention to Malik Monk. Isaac Bonga, it's another kid, young point guard, tall body. Somebody that you can see with a lot of upside. Who else? Iguodala's still out there. Keep an eye on Iguodala. He's gonna join somebody's team. So that's what I got for you guys, man. I think I can sum it up now. The last name on the list is Archie Doracano, and I can't pronounce that man's name. We've had this problem for the last couple of days, but he is also on the waiver wire looking for a new spot to play, and I think he's a very, very aggressive guard who's going to help a team. I saw what he could do a little bit in Chicago, and he's not a scrub at all. So somebody going to be happy to have him. Yeah, that's what I got, man. BDF 44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.